the last movie this week was, of course, my pick, that being the 1990 film. Jesus Christ. The 1995 film, Ghost in the Shell. This is the movie about some shit happening in some fucking city.
Mm-hmm. That's it?
There you go.
Okay.
Did he die?
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
What's your fun fact, Tanner?
Okay. Fun fact. This is the first anime film to be released at the same time in Japan, Britain, and the US.
Whoa! That's pretty cool.
It flopped hard.
Everywhere?
I think it did fine in Japan.
Yeah, the Japanese people love this shit. Yeah, fun fact, I picked this movie because I didn't like it the first time I watched it, and I didn't particularly like it the second time I watched it. This movie is obscenely obtuse, and unfortunately, I think something like that can work if it seems like a cohesive piece. But this really just feels like it's kind of just building up a universe and not really like a structure of a movie. It ends very abruptly. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's pretty fucking boring and just like set piece building. There's a lot, like it has like a fucking Metropolis problem where there's just a lot of like setting shots of shit going on, which is cool. It's a very pretty, it's a beautiful to look at movie. The animation is gorgeous. There's some really cool action scenes and things in it, but yeah, the writing is so dense. It's just a very cumbersome movie. I also wanted to watch it in English so I could see what the dub was like, but I didn't. Oops.
Oh well.
Dub is pretty solid. I definitely agree. This is a wild comparison, but it very much reminds me of Blood, where it feels like a random slice of a larger story.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We cannot go a week without mentioning Blood.
Yeah.
He loves that shit. He goes fucking killer. He's picking the next one next.
There you go. Yeah, especially with the fucking ending. Like, that shit's wild. I don't know why they did that. They ran out of money. But yeah, the big pluses for this is the artwork and the animation are, like, unreal. They're fucking insane, honestly. I was watching this and consistently being like, dude, how the fuck did they do this?
Dude, you literally saw the scene where the guy busted out, like, the triple set of fingers for the keyboard, and you pogged and went, that's where it's from!
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much all of my thought. You know, some cool world building, maybe not the most revolutionary stuff ever. I kind of thought... I feel like this movie has a reputation for being, like, very intellectual, I suppose, for lack of a better term, and, you know, so many metaphors and wrestling with, like, identity and what it means to be a robot or whatever. And
did Tanner get stat checked?
Maybe I did. It doesn't seem to me like that's really in the movie all that much. Like, it feels much more straightforward than I had previously been led to believe, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we just all got fucking stat checked, because there's some, like, turbo quants that talk about this, like, the second coming of Christ. Like, they think that if you don't think this movie's fucking peak, you're actually just a dumbass. And maybe they're right, because I legitimately just don't see what they're talking about. I'm totally with Tanner on this. Like, it definitely brings up discussion of, like, what it means to be human. You know, you got this fucking cyborg chick that, like, kind of is like half and half on whether or not she actually is like a conscious being or not. There's the fucking roaming AIs that are basically people. You know, I get the fucking main antagonist hacker guy. They believe themselves to be a conscious person. They're trying to defend themselves as basically the same as a regular person. And this is supposed to be some, like, big revolutionary question, I guess. Maybe this was, like, super fucking sick back when it came out in the 90s. But nowadays, it's a pretty overused trait, I would say.
Yeah, Blade Runner did it better.
I've only seen the first one, and I don't know if I agree with that. But
I haven't seen either of them, so I don't know if I agree with it.
He's just seen the fucking pictures of Ryan Gosling walking around, and he just knows. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't really seem that deep. It just seems obtuse. Like, they just throw you a lot of fucking names of all these different things going on, these different organizations. There's a whole fucking subplot of, like, this, like, fucking guy. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the weeds. There's just a ton of moving parts with this movie that I just feel like they don't need to be there particularly. It's literally just there for, like, some world building, and to maybe let you kind of know what's going on earlier on. But I don't know. It just seems like a kind of a big waste of fucking time.
Maybe you guys got stat checked by this movie, but unlike all of you, I actually have a finely wrinkled brain, and I was able to fully grasp the philosophical explorations of identity and consciousness that this film was attempting to explore, okay? You guys may have not understood, like, just how it blurs the lines between technology and human consciousness, but I get it, okay? I watched Best Guy Ever's 2-hour video on why Ghost in the Shell is the greatest anime ever, alright? I actually did watch this film twice, just to preface this. I watched it with Jackson initially. Of course, this motherfucker loves watching it subbed, and that was bullshit, because the subtitles in this film are very fast, and I couldn't read it all because it's really thick, you know? It's saying a lot at one time, and it takes my little brain a while to figure it out. So I did have to go back, watch it in English. Tanner, I disagree, unfortunately. As the biggest dub defender around, I do not think the dub for this was particularly good. Especially our main character's voice. She just sounded like she was just some woman they pulled in from The Office to voice act for the main character.
True.
Which was a bummer, but you know, at the very least I do feel like I got a lot more out of that one, since I was actually able to fully comprehend what they were saying for the most part. And like, I really wanted to like this movie, guys, but like I just I couldn't get super into it either.
We're so fucked, boys. We're so fucked.
We're so both. This is objectively worse. What was the other one that we
Texas
fucking
Chainsaw
shit
Massacre.
on that people love?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw. This is so much worse than Texas Chainsaw.
This is substantially worse.
No one's ever watched it. Don't release this review.
As you guys stated, the animation, everything like that, fantastic. No notes at all. It's great. There are like a couple of standout shots that immediately stick out in my mind, like when they're chasing down that one dude, like the hacker guy, and he just like pulls out the SMG and he like readies his feet and just starts fucking blasting him, and you see he's getting like pushed back from the force of his ammunition. That was really cool. There's also like, of course, the shot of her like coming up from the ocean and like looking out through like the fucking goggles, and you can see like all the little water droplets. The distortion from that, fantastic as well. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel particularly connected to any of these characters, or like really feel super engrossed in any of the themes that they were exploring. Like, this is technology and like what it means to be human, and exploring the sort of like consciousness and stuff like that. That's not a particularly rare sort of theme that gets explored in sci-fi.
It's not a very novel concept nowadays.
Yeah, I have experienced that in other forms of media. I do think it's cool when it gets explored. There wasn't anything about this film, though, that really did it in a way that made me go, whoa, I never really considered it like that, though.
I think the problem is you really have to kind of like look at this from the lens of what it was back then compared to what it is now. Like, we've got fucking Cyberpunk is a big one, where I think Cyberpunk, from like a world-building standpoint, blows this shit out of the fucking water. It's just like way cooler and stuff. This one is much more like gritty and down to earth. I don't have anything else to fucking say. I don't know.
Would this movie be better if she had a pussy?
I don't think it changed anything particularly. I do think it's interesting that motherfuckers can just get their brain hacked and their entire memories altered. I think that's cool, but also, again, it's just some kind of fucking world building at the end of the day.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that he's like, yeah, and they're just kind of fucked when this happens to them.
Yeah, like, I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do? I guess not get your brain augmented in such a way that it can get hacked.
True.
But also in a society like that, I'm sure you can't really compete if you don't have some shit like that going on.
Probably.
Dylan, how'd you feel about this film?
Oh, that was pretty good.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
He's gonna save us all.
He's the only one that didn't get stat checked.
Yeah, I don't really have anything in particular to say about this movie. You guys kind of covered all of it. I could sit here and try to defend it, but I don't even know what I'd say.
You want to start us off with the rankings then?
No, I actually want... I actually want to hear your guys' rankings first. I want to see how much lower you're going to rank it than I am.
Dude, my ranking actually isn't that low, because, like, even though, I think the story is not particularly interesting and blah, 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 I do think the art actually carries it quite a way, and the action scenes are cool, and, like I said, I actually liked the voice acting, blah, 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 blah. I gave it an A-.
Oh.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, no, I'm a hater. I gave it a C+.
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
I was gonna
damn.
feel bad for giving it a B, but okay.
Yeah, I legitimate. I think it's on a similar tier to Metropolis because they have similar issues. Where there's just a lot of world building. There's a lot of like set piece things going on. The animation is fucking crazy good. There's just a lot of like establishing shots of things. They're very interesting movies from a foundational standpoint, but they just feel like they fall flat in what they're trying to go for. And especially so in this movie because it really just didn't even feel like you're like watching like a full thing. It really just feels like you're watching like a fucking teaser for like what could be.
This motherfucker's kind of spitting, honestly.
And what could be is the live action version with Jessica Alba or whoever the fuck.
Jessica
Alba, you mean fucking Scarlett Johansson, you
That's the
motherfucker?
one. It's some
What the-
woman.
I hope we get to see her pussy.
Margie Robbo or whatever the fuck her name is.
Margie Robbo.
I don't fucking know who you're talking about, so I don't know.
Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Cast Margot Robbie as the fucking Ghost in the Shell.
That'd be so insane.
Oh my god.
If you didn't catch it, by the way, I gave it a B. B for Ghost in the Shell. Go play Nier Automata instead. Dylan, what'd you give it?
Yeah, I'm surprising. I related this a lot to Metropolis as well, but I guess I'm not rating it as high as Metropolis. I gave Ghost in the Shell an A.
Hey, I'm tonight's biggest hater, dude. See, I really fucking... I was such an uncultured swine when I first watched this movie. I was a downright retard in terms of general movie prowess, and now I'm not. I'm like halfway up to being a fucking snob, and this shit did not land for me. It's so sad. I do think the animation's fucking sick. This shit is gorgeous to look at, but also it's just I just can't. I can't.
I wanted to love it, man. I really did.
Let's really double down on this and shit on Akira.
Dude, I might. I didn't particularly like Akira either.
Oh,
I've
no,
heard Akira
we're
3
fucked.
times this week. Oh my gosh.
Akira. Anyways, I landed at a B+ overall. It is the same tier as John Wick.
Wow.
Oh, rip, dude.
Fair enough, dude.
They're very similar movies, of course. They have guns.
Find new content, Jax. You say the same shit every time.
Dude, it's another fucking B+ to the pile. What can I say?